Hey everybody, welcome to the Ruin Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Holmes, along with Brooks Dunkelberger.
Hello.
And Mr. Noah Humble.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks since we've been in the saddle here, but we're back from St. Louis. Had a fun time at Consumer Night.
Yeah, that was a riot. Thanks again to everybody that joined us for their interview segments. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had some fun too. Me? You?
I always have fun in St. Louis.
Yeah. A gentleman that was trying to meet up with you said he couldn't because you were doing interviews with who?
What?
The bar.
Yeah.
You were doing interviews with the bar the entire
I'm at the bar, just sitting a few people.
Yeah.
That's neat. Just talking to the liquor the whole time.
Yeah. So good times, great memories. I can't wait to go back next year. It's always a fun trip for us. And we got to give a shout out to Chris is on the docket. That's our breakfast spot.
Oh,
and that's the savior. Come the second morning we're there. After
Dude, that burrito I had was like the size of a loaf of bread. Somehow I killed the whole thing.
What's mine called? The
Breakfast fried rice.
Yeah. You never get fried rice. That's what he's doing.
It sounds gross, but
It looks so good.
It was delicious.
I'll have to try it.
So, speaking of trade shows, we got a big one coming up, fellas. Vegas.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
These folks at ISRI think it's a good idea to place at least the three of us. They've been doing this a lot longer than we've been around, but they're going to put us in the middle of the desert and say, here you go, boys.
Turn us loose.
Have at it. So, some big things for us. We are actually going for a push. Our recycling company, or scrap company, I should say, are going to have our booth there for the first time ever.
It's a big step.
Big step for us.
Big win.
Big win. Make it so.
Hopefully it's a big win. We haven't got there yet.
Yeah, hopefully it makes it there. That's we're bringing a whole booth, and we're also going to hopefully do some live shows there. So hopefully you guys see us, say hi, and all that. And
Yeah, do we have a number? Do we know what the booth number is?
A13.
Tia is saying A13 from behind the scenes there. Ask for 13. They put us in the corner, right, Tia?
Yeah, we're in the corner. Do we know what vendors were like in between? I feel like we've got still recordings on either side of us.
You know, I think we should let people know that we're coming in with a homemade booth as well. This is not some...
Not homemade. It's professionally done by not professionals.
It's a shipping container, and that's a huge. That's what everybody's using these days.
It's going to look cool.
Well, we're not buying it from some fancy company. We're doing it ourselves.
We're recycling it.
We're recycling. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
We are making a positive impact on the environment. We're taking a shipping container that would otherwise be garbage, and we're repurposing it.
It's going to be sweet.
1,000%. Tia, do you know who we're between?
No.
She says no. She doesn't know, Brooks.
Yeah, well...
Maybe it's because she didn't dress up for the day today.
I feel bad for whoever we're in between, though.
So, for those of you who got to meet Tia, I can't tell if she's upset with us or not listening. Tia's awesome. So I want to give Tia a round of applause for our shows in St. Louis, too.
Yes.
Good job. Tia killed it out there. So
Yay.
Make sure you guys say hi to Tia. She's very talkative. She talks very loud. And really will engage anybody. She doesn't have any public fear of speaking at all. So
She does wear sunglasses at night.
she does wear sunglasses at night. Oh,
Impressive.
So it is impressive. So we got the Vegas show coming up. Looking forward to that in a few weeks. We're going to do some live shows, like I said, out there. So be looking forward to that. Hopefully a lot of good content we can grab.
And yeah, and anybody out there that's interested in talking to us, that'd like to promote a specific product or your brand or whatever your company might do,
We'd love to hear from
get a hold of us and we'll get an interview scheduled with you. Just fire off a message to we've got our messaging link in the bottom of the broadcast here.
What is it, Tia? Is it info, though, or is it info@ruinedpod.com?
Yeah, so just reach out to us. We'd love to have you on and talk about your product or whatever your company offers.
So we got the Vegas show, so we're busy there as well. But we also, guys, got some golf outings coming up.
Yeah.
Gonna get back at it.
It's golf season.
It is golf season.
And that means training. So
need
we
to start
play these
training.
events to win. We don't play these events to go out there and fuck around.
Would you say that we are the weaker link out of the
Yes.
three of us here?
No, I'd
Yes.
say we all contribute important parts of the game
That's
if we're
the
focused.
Best part of a 4-man scramble, though.
Is that you can just dump it all on one guy
Well, that
then
and
get drunk.
yeah, but like everybody kind of has a shot throughout the holes. But
Yeah.
I have a shot per hole.
No, and
if
our,
we're lucky, yeah.
no, our
An
team
alcoholic
has,
shot, not a golf
Oh
shot.
yeah, for sure.
everybody seems to contribute. The farther along we get, especially we tend to partake in some of the booze that are on offer at these events. So everybody gets a little looser, and by the end of the event, we're playing pretty well. We're pretty dialed in. So I expect that from you guys this
Hole
year.
17,
again.
last time we had a golf tournament where I drove the green but magically hit somebody else's ball and it
They
knocked
chucked
off the
your
green.
ball off the green is what happened.
That's
You hit into him. You were
I didn't see him.
unkind. It was a blind shot, but you were unkind and hit into him.
Best drive of the day.
And probably hit that old man that was in front of us.
They
And-
said our balls collided in air. I don't believe that for a minute.
I mean, what are the odds of that?
Right. Be slim to none. So
I drove the green. That's all that matters.
also, if we're involved in any golf event, Tia, you coming this year? Tia is a collegiate golfer. Didn't you play in college?
The WPGA.
You decided to go somewhere else.
She was a WPGA, if that's a thing.
No, I couldn't. The golf pro at Pheasant really wanted me.
First of all, it's LPGA,
and
not
it's been a thing.
WPGA.
It's been a thing for like 100 years. Like women play golf.
But he called
Yeah,
it
it's-
the W. He didn't even call it. It's the LPGA.
I feel like women's more politically correct than ladies.
Tomato. Tia's pointing out that they're from the ladies' tees. That's why they call it LPGA.
Women's tees.
Women's tees. You play from the women's tees.
Yeah, you say that, don't you?
I just play from them.
Yeah. I just call them my
I
tees.
just call them my tees and go up there and we'll go that way. So, well, we hope to have you out, Tia. If you want to come with us for some, it should be a fun time. And we didn't have too bad of a winter around here.
It was a weird winter, wasn't it? It felt like we had 2 hard weeks of winter. We got a couple snowstorms right in a row there, and then it's over.
It also feels like it might still be coming.
Right.
say,
You
it's
gotta
also
think that
only
we're gonna
March.
get another dose, right?
Right. Like it could be any second where we just get dumped on like 4 feet of snow.
But it feels like that it's coming like some winter in years ahead. It's just going to skip us all together because, man, it came close this year. If it weren't for those 2 weeks, we'd have pretty well gotten away with it without a winter at all. Which
We're gonna
I'm
need-
totally cool with that.
We're going to need some rain this spring, though, for sure. We're drying
we?
up. We're drying up here in Iowa.
In the scrapyard?
No,
You need some water there at the scrapyard?
I do need water.
That's another subject. But yeah,
Yeah.
you do need water at the scrapyard. But yeah, so one thing we should talk about at the Vegas show, we just found out that ISRI's going to be doing a rebranding.
Yeah.
Very convenient that they're going to do a rebranding after A-Line and Push did one, right, Tia? Yeah. So, no, we've always had a good time with ISRI. In fact, we're hoping to get some of their membership panel on to discuss what they can before Vegas, but I don't know if we landed that yet. So we're still working on that. Efforts will be put out. And so we're excited to see what transpires there in a few weeks in Vegas. So should talk about scrap markets, boys, because that's what this show is about. So Ferris, not good.
Jeff,
Not good.
traditionally, what does it look like in the spring? Is there a seasonality to it that you see that you can kind of count on?
Spring's always a little bit difficult for us. January tends to kind of, be hit or miss. February seems like it's always down. But we got a big dip here in March. However, Comex on the non-ferrous side,
Seems to be
through the
spiked.
roof, baby.
Yeah.
We like to see that. So hoping to continue that trend, except on the fair side, we'd like to see a rebound, which I think we will. You come into summer, you get more projects, more demand on the other side. So I think that will tend to right itself.
Do you think that an election year has any kind of impact on the scrap markets? It seems like with commodities and stocks, election years tend to cause those markets to tick up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do we see anything like that in the scrap market? Is there any correlation there, do you think?
Without having the data in front of me, I feel like there has been. I feel like we've always kind of seen a little bit of a tick up in the few elections that I've been around in this industry. But it'll be interesting to see what happens now. You got record inflation going on,
Right.
and how is that going to translate going into November? And the world's kind of a different place right now too. And so. We'll see what happens on a global standpoint, because ultimately that's what is going to
fuel us as well. So, one thing we don't talk about enough, though, that we should look into, and Brooks has recently taken a big interest in, is e-scrap and battery recycling.
Yeah, so lithium.
Can I call you an expert yet?
No.
Okay.
Far from expert. So lithium-ion batteries are obviously going to be a big recyclable commodity, I feel like, coming up in the next few years here. And just in doing a little bit of research on it, it seems like the big advancement thus far is aqueous shredding, which is shredding these batteries underwater. It's actually like a brine, like a salt brine that somehow neutralizes the components and isolates them. So I feel like that part of our industry is starting to gain momentum. They're starting to figure out how to do this stuff and gather up the materials there, the lithium, nickel, cobalt, other things that the batteries are made out of. Typically, these batteries contain a bunch of little 18650 cells that are a little bit bigger than AA batteries. And so that's about what every lithium-ion battery is made out of, is just smaller cells. So the idea is to put those cells in some kind of machine like one of these aqueous shredders and then try to recover that material. And you can see that it's having a pretty sizable impact on the lithium market so far, just in a new stream of material coming in. So anxious to see where that goes.
And Noah, you have a lot to add to that, correct?
No, I have no clue what the hell he's saying.
All right, thanks, Noah.
No, it's really something to watch. I feel like it's going to be a big part of our industry moving forward. We know that electronic vehicles, a lot of other lithium-ion powered products are entering the market. So we know we need to find a way to recycle these things, keep them out of landfills. So that's kind of been the objective for these guys who develop these machines. And I think it's going to be fun to watch going forward, and maybe something that we could get into, provided we find out a little bit more about it and how the processes work.
Yeah, absolutely. We do take e-scrap now, but I feel like we're more on the collection side than anything else, and getting into the processing is definitely going to be a future market that we can tap into for sure. One thing I need to get away from, though, I thought, here's a great story for anybody trying to get into this business. I thought when I got into the scrap business, I'd just come on and recycle anything under the sun, including plastic.
No.
I thought I was going to be the plastic guru of the world. Turns out I know very little about plastic recycling, and it's a really hard product to move.
Well, and it seems like nobody knows anything about plastic recycling, but because
there's probably some plastic people out there that know about plastic recycling. I'm
sure there are, but the numbers speak volumes, right? There's something like 90% of plastic winds up in landfills and doesn't get recycled. And the question really is why? I mean, how come we can't figure out plastic recycling?
Yeah, so in my example, I had a very large manufacturer who gave us a lot of ferrous material to say, hey, is this something you guys can take? And me, without doing any research into it, was like, absolutely, we can figure it out. It won't be that hard. Now Noah has a very, very, very full warehouse of plastic material that we are trying to figure out how we can dispose of and not get into the landfill. Yeah. So
that stuff's
UHMW. That's our big one. That's our big one we're on.
What is
that? That's the type of plastic.
Oh yeah.
But nobody wants that. So.
It's hard to move. It's hard to store. I know that.
Yep. And
they
tip over pretty easy, don't they?
Tip over.
It's like having a confetti party.
Yeah.
You've won the Super Bowl every day you go to work.
Oh, yeah.
So,
what do you think it is that is so prohibitive when it comes to trying to recycle plastics?
I think it's not conducive to the recycling process. I think it's more of it's cheap to make, and therefore whether it's packaging or industrial like we're talking about, from a manufacturer's standpoint, it makes sense to use it because it's going to lower your cost down considerably. Does that have an impact? Well, yeah, because it's hard to get rid of, And the other thing, too, is not to get too far into this, but for a long time, China was taking a lot of our plastic scrap. And in 2018, the slang term for it was they put up a green wall where they weren't going to import so much of other people's plastics or other countries' plastics. And so now that's caused kind of a logjam on where this stuff is going to go, So not only do you have to have typical plastics, PETs, things like that you can recycle. But two, now you got to find that home for it too, and it's created so much of a supply. The demand for it has gone lower. So I do think you do see some companies who aren't. One example is I got a new credit card the other day, and it was made from 85% recycled plastic. So I do think you're seeing people trying to do the right thing from an environmental standpoint. I think we have such an abundance of it, though, it's going to be hard to catch up, with that. And you might start seeing different packaging, whether that's, in our case, hopefully aluminum, and things like that.
Right. You got to wonder why did we get away from glass packaging? Why did we get away from paper
steel
packaging? When as a kid, milk is coming in waxed paper, and now it's every beverage that you get at the store is coming in plastic. And as an outsider looking in, you can see these packages and think, well, all you have to do is melt this stuff down and then make a new package, right? But there's more
really
to it
case,
than that.
Yeah, it's not as cut and dry as some of the ferrous and non-ferrous. Speaking of milk, we recently found out that you have a past life, Brooks.
Back.
So why don't you tell the folks, the audience, what your prior career was?
What you did.
What you done?
Yeah, so back in my college days, I worked as a milkman.
Yeah, baby.
How many kids do you have that you don't know about?
Yeah.
Well, I hope there's herds of them roaming around the western states.
Bunch of herds of dunkles.
Yeah.
Dunkelburgers running around.
It would make for a much better world if there was.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was an old-timey dairy. We bottled all of our stuff in glass. We delivered it right to the doorstep, collected the old glass.
I seriously thought this was a joke when you were telling us this. I was
really
like, there's
not a joke.
There's no way this is real.
This is something that lives on out in Colorado and Utah and some
They're
other
still
western
doing
states.
this?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's popular. And we almost had one here in Iowa that started doing it a few years ago. They bottle milk and everything. It's the Hanson's
But
outfit.
they put a cap on how many Dunkelburgers could be running around. So
Exactly. So there's just not enough dairy experts.
Did you have to wear like a white suit or anything cool like that?
We were hippies with ponytails, and we
You
just
had
had
a
to wear
ponytail?
oh yeah, and we just had to wear a Morning Fresh Dairy hat. Shout out to Morning Fresh Dairy Farm, LaPorte, Colorado.
So how we discovered this, we told Tiny Tia back here about Brooks being a milkman, and so he asked, or she said, "Brooks, were you a milkman?" And what did you say to her, Brooks? Where'd you park the truck at?
She said, "Where'd you put your truck at night?" And I said, "I parked it at your mom's house."
Oh no! Oh no!
So I'm sorry this has happened to you today, Tia. I know this wasn't part of our.
How
initial
dare
show.
you? Mel is a sweet, sweet lady.
I think she is, but it really has nothing to do
think she
with
is.
her.
That's why he
as
parked his
much
truck
as it
there.
Well, same thing. You guys telling me yesterday, I forgot where to put my mouth. So, guys, I'm trying to focus on where to put my mouth during this event. But
I'll show you.
I never forget where Noah's mouth is.
This is going downhill fast. It was just a little constructive criticism.
Yeah, we were just trying to give you credit about your milk career.
Well, I'll
You
tell you
turned
what.
it.
The way we had those microphones organized at that event was
Yeah.
like it needed to be on the other side of me.
So it was our fault.
It was. Yeah.
Can we blame us instead of you?
But I think
that's what I try to do daily is just
well,
kick that onto you.
yeah, absolutely.
Just take a dump right on your head.
Just like the cost of diesel and freight. That's what that does to me too. so yeah, we talking about scrap being down and stuff like that. What doesn't go down, what doesn't coincide with that is usually the pricing of processing this material or moving this material. And I do get a lot of people that ask me, and I think I've probably said this on this podcast before, is, my new price of steel's going up, but how come my scrap price is not going up? And I've often told them that the truth of that is that you should follow oil markets more than you should follow new steel production pricing, just because it's more likely to tend in that direction. But I don't think we got quite the hit to the diesel that we did in Ferris this month. And so we've actually segued into this, and it's probably a good time to bring in our guest, Miss Jessica Augustine from Push Transportation. Hey, Jessica.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm living the dream. It's a rainy Thursday here where I'm at, but I'm at a coffee shop drinking local.
Joining us from a remote location. You're on assignment at the coffee shop. What'd you
I
order?
am.
What'd you get? Shout out to Fat Cup Coffee.
I got a cold brew. I actually went to a different coffee shop, but it was too busy. So I got hot there and cold here.
All right.
So you're jacked up now.
You're
I'm ready.
here I am. So Jessica, we were talking a little bit about freight and thought it was a great time to bring you on as the member of Push Transportation, a transportation division within the Push umbrella. Is that a good way to call it?
Yeah,
the mega
I like
force that is
umbrella.
Push.
Yes.
Yeah, the mega force. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what led us to the point we're at now with Push Transportation?
Awesome. Yeah. So my background in the freight industry, it kind of just fell into my lap, if I'm going to be honest. I was working a night job probably like 8 years ago, and a coworker was like, hey, I really need some help at my brokerage. Will you please just come answer phones? Please, just one day. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll come answer some phones for you. And I got there and worked for one day, and it was literally like everything clicked. The owner of the company, spot on, was like, hey, do you want a job? And I was like, you know what? I like it here. Let's go. And I started off dispatching, and that within a month led to sales. And I was kind of their shipping expert and did a lot of like third-party stuff. And then took a small break over the pandemic. And then I started working for Push Iron and Metals as their fleet manager. So that was all asset owned based, which was different. But I'm kind of a blessed girl, and I've been able to experience the industry on both sides, both non-asset and asset owned. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
Noah,
with this
stop
Push
laughing at
Transportation.
asset.
I didn't laugh at that.
You were kind of chuckling at asset. All right. Sorry, Jessica. Continue on.
Oh, no, it's all good. Asset's a funny word.
Really? It's only funny if you're Noah or you're 12.
even laughing.
Hey, it's all good. So yeah, I have been running the fleet for the scrapyard for a year and a half now, and I'm excited to start up this new entity and expand the business and help other people with their shipping needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And the new entity you're talking about is Push Transportation, correct?
Yes, it's
Yep.
Push Transportation.
And so a new division of our umbrella, like I spoke about earlier. And can you kind of tell us what your focus is going to be directly related to that, outside of doing the asset-based stuff?
Absolutely. So like
Okay, he didn't laugh
the
that
long
time.
version of it is we're a global shipping expert that helps customers understand their transportation needs. But like the short layman's terms is, even if you don't know what exactly you need, but you need something moved, we're your best tool. We're going to help you find out what those needs are, and we're going to help you get stuff moved. Our main focus at Push Transportation, the biggest thing that we haul is heavy machinery. So construction companies, anything scrap related, any farmers, farming equipment, big equipment. But we've kind of helped all over the board, anywhere from powder and pneumatic trailers to lumber to 600-pound machines that need moved on the smallest piece of equipment. We kind of do it all, but heavy machinery is our niche.
And that's probably a good point. I would say too, I do have a little bit of background knowledge on this new company that Jess is doing this for, but we're not just a scrap related company. We're doing it outside of our industry into other industries, and really looking forward. It was a no-brainer to bring Jess on and do this, and kind of fits into our next move as a company. And so Brooks, I think you got a question, right, about because you have a little bit of background experience in this as well. So
yeah. Well, one of the things that I noticed when I was in the industry myself is there's kind of once spring happens, things start to open up in the northern climates. Things start to move again. Can you talk a little bit about how that seasonality affects the freight market and what we can do to kind of get stuff moving when the weather is not conducive to it?
Absolutely. So once everything starts ramping up, spring, construction companies are back out. Of course, we're going to see freight costs go down a little bit because that opportunity is there. However, in the winter months when things are really slow, getting things to, all corners of the United States, it's really about who you know. And that's the blessed thing with working with the people that I work with is we know a lot of people. And so freight costs it's going to get a little bit steeper when you go to the far corners. So California, it's going to cost a little bit more. New York, it's going to cost a little bit more. But for like the Dakotas and the Wyomings, as long as you have carriers in those states, it's a lot easier to get up there no matter the time of year. And I'm pretty lucky to have carriers in all 50 states. I've got connections all over. So
it's really just about getting those guys, building those relationships, just like anything else. It's slower when the roads are trickier, but it's, if you got a solid group of carriers, then we're always able to move stuff no matter the time of year.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm from Iowa, so I don't see the snow really as something that's going to slow me down. It's more of a
threat. You don't see it as a threat.
It's not.
Without using that word.
Right. I mean, if you go a couple hours south of here and they get a couple sprinkles of snow, then the whole world ends.
Dude, I was in Atlanta one time. I was driving through Atlanta, and they had a sleet storm, and you would have thought Armageddon was upon the folks near Atlanta. Like, it was over. Freezing rain. They were all off to the side of the highway. I was doing 85 through there in a very small vehicle, like not caring about what was in front of me. So.
It's like they don't spend the money to get like the infrastructure needed to clear snow. So It's like they just have to sit and wait it out. So
just abandoned for 3 days in their
that's
vehicle.
Exactly what it is. It's like end of the world stuff, and then once everything melts and they're back to their mild temperatures, then things start back up. But you remember what happened in Texas when it got cold and snowed a couple years ago?
Right.
The whole grid shut down. It really was like end of the world stuff.
Right.
So thankfully we're a little bit tougher than that here in the northern states, I like to think. But maybe it's just because they don't have the shit to take care of the problem.
Brooks will be available for boxing requests when we go to Vegas. Just so you know.
Anybody
So-
from Texas can.
Actually, you and Tommy might need to figure this out.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
He's a Texan now.
So I should box Tommy?
He might bite you.
He might bite you like Tyson.
I've been bitten though, so I know.
Danson Jansen, you let us know. You got our info. You let us know if something needs to go down. Here it is.
I'm ready.
Shit talk.
He's a lot stronger than his body makes him look.
Yeah,
he
that's
says.
what he told us the other day.
That's not.
He's
exactly
stronger
what
than
I
the
said.
appearance of his body.
That's what he said.
Oh man, can we get back to Jessica? Yeah. All right.
Another thing that I kind of wanted to ask you is you touched on it a little bit, but what makes a company a good fit for Push?
You need transportation. I'm just kidding with you. So I like the best thing I'd say about Push is that we are a small business and we're locally owned. So we kind of have the opportunity to do whatever we want. And by do whatever we want, I mean, we can do those unique projects and we can help find custom fits for companies. So if it's something super small or you need 15, 20 shipments a day, we can figure out a way to make that happen. Whether you have a shipping person and they know exactly what they're looking for, I can help. Or there are a lot of companies that they don't actually have a shipping manager, and it's just like the HR person is supposed to find a truck for them. So those are really good fits for me personally, because I can help them find that solution and say, hey, here are what your options are going to be. Let me help you find that solution and get whatever you need moved out of there.
Yeah, and I would say a lot of this is translated over to our scrap customers too. I think we've had some early success with that on just another way we can help them move, not scrap related materials, but any of their product We've had some success with that. So now you're laughing. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, time. So, all right. Noah's got a question for you.
Yeah. Where are we at? Number 4. What are some of the challenges for you day to day?
Way to make that not seem like it wasn't planned or any of that stuff. So.
I just said number 4. That's where we were.
It's like a
Noah,
worksheet
wow, what
that
a
we're
great
reading
question.
from
Yeah,
class.
you know, this is not scripted at all or anything like that.
You gave
so.
me a script, so I read off the script.
All you had to do was ask the question. I did. No, you did.
Good job, Noah.
I didn't know what question we were
Let's
on.
see, direction number 4 here. Tie my shoes and chew gum. So,
Wow, Noah, you put so much thought into that question. Thank you for asking. Any freight broker on here, anyone that's had to deal with truckers, and I'm going to get shot in the foot here, but truckers, I'm just going to say it out loud. And I want you guys to just listen to the whole conversation so I don't have truckers standing at my door, like beaten down, pooping in bags, lighting it on fire in front of my office. But, you know, some of them are a little hard to deal with.
I'll back you up. Y'all are a different breed, truckers. y'all are different.
Some of my favorite people are truckers, but then also, you know, there's some crazy ones out there, and we've all heard some crazy stories. So the world is lucky to have me as their connection to kind of wait out the weirdos. But that would be some of the toughest things. I'd say another difficulty in the transportation industry is it's either slow or it's fast. You're going to have nothing to do, and then a customer is going to call, and they're going to need a hero. And you're going to be, you know, super, super busy for 2 hours, find what you need to find, and then you're slow again. So that's kind of really the only difficulty is because I'm blessed to love what I do. So truckers and the ebb and flow of business. Yeah, hot, slow, and fast, which...
I want to tell you a little something about a trucker. I had a guy that was picking up a load for us, and he was going to take it to a government facility. I won't say which one. The only thing that you can't take into these government facilities with you are other people, drugs, or animals. The guy got arrested there because he had a cat, he had drugs, and he had a prostitute. And
we should point out this person didn't work for us. This
was back in a previous life of mine. But there's signage leading up to this government facility about what things you cannot have. He could have bailed. He could have thrown the cat out the window and the drugs.
And the prostitute.
But he opted to keep all 3 with him right into the government facility. And yeah, it didn't work out well for him.
Couldn't figure out why that went wrong. Huh?
Right.
The cat was the problem.
So they wouldn't use us anymore, needless to say. But yeah, she's right. In this world, it's about the people, and it's not just because they're truckers. It's that you got this in all walks of life. You know, you got to have good people, and most of the people that I worked with, and I know Jess can say the same thing, have been pretty stand-up folks.
Yeah, I've got this was an employee of ours, a very similar story. We could go on for days with truckers around here, but there was one before. Probably everybody in this room. I mean, your time was kind of split, but you'd know the name. I won't mention it out loud who I'm talking about, but he was coming back from the steel mill one day. I said, "Hey, on your way home, I need you to stop by this farm and pick up this piece of equipment." And his answer to me was, "All right, Jeff, yeah, I'll do it. But you and those fucking Democrats." And then he just proceeded to chew my ass for about 15 minutes for a political faction that I wasn't really on board with. But there was a problem with me and them for some reason. So
well, they got a lot of time to think.
That's the problem.
They're behind the wheel and they're just thinking.
And this dude was a Rush Limbaugh guy, like every second of every day. And so he was.
There's actually a name for that when they have too much time to think. It's called windshield time. You can tell they've had too much windshield time when they give you a call, and it's just like immediate, like 15-minute ramble about whatever you've been thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're joined by our guest, Miss Jessica Augustine from Push Transportation. And that's the website's www.pushtransportation.com. That feeds to ours, right? Tia's looking at me blank like...
No, it's on Push Research
It's all on Push Resource Recovery, but I think if you put in pushtransportation.com, if you search Push Transportation, if you Google it, it'll eventually get us to the right location. So
It might take a while. But
yeah,
you'll get there.
you're gonna go through 6 hoops to get there, but outside of that, no, it's really, really easy to get to. So
It's really great that you said that actually, because pushtransportation.com is how carriers and truckers can get onboarded to work with me. So
yeah.
it's great to touch on that. Please go to that website if you're a trucker. I'd love to work with you if we haven't met before.
Yeah, let's check out the website. Check out all little Tia's social media stuff. We need to probably focus a little more on the transportation division. We'll start doing that as well. So, now that you said all of the worst things about being in the freight business, what's some of the best things, or what's your favorite thing that you would say is part of the freight world? And you're gonna say truckers, aren't you? That's gonna be your answer.
It's a two-parter. It's a two-parter. So first part, I think I said this earlier, is you get to be everybody's hero. I can't tell you how many times someone calls me and they're like, this truck fell through. I went through this company. Girl, I need some help. And here I am flying in with my cape on.
With your cape
to be
on,
here.
yeah.
Okay, that's like number one. My favorite thing is there's not much that I found that I can't get done. So I don't want to pat myself on the back too hard, but I really have found my niche in my industry. So I love being people's hero. And then the second thing is the truckers. It is the truckers. And I actually met my favorite trucker at Push Iron and Metals. It's not one of our truckers. It's this big old girl, the only female trucker that has ever been on Push Iron and Metals site. But she had a dog with her, and I think that if she would have asked me to leave with her to go to Colorado or wherever, I would have said yes. Family and hopped in her semi and taken off.
It wasn't Buffy, was it? Okay, all right.
Buffy doesn't drive truck, does she?
She has a dog with her at all times. So.
Yeah, the dog almost killed me.
You were attacked.
I was attacked. It ruined my denim pants or blue jeans.
Why are blue jeans in quotation marks?
Well, because I said denim pants. Who says denim pants?
I don't know.
I said denim pants. It ruined my jeans.
You're right.
Yeah, say jeans.
They say denim pants, but they also say blue jeans.
The thing, she led the dog to me and it attacked me.
You were a
tore
threat.
my jeans up. I wasn't a threat. I was unsuspecting. I didn't even know the dog was behind me. It grabbed a hold of my leg and shook me up.
All right,
So and then everybody laughed at me just like he's doing. Have you faced an attack by a fucking animal like that? You wouldn't be laughing if you had.
The dog is like 1.5 feet tall.
Yeah, a perfect size to attack your
ankle regions on your blue jeans.
I mean,
Your denim pants.
it tore through my, and it was thick denim.
It
tore
wasn't
through
basic
there.
denim. It was thick denim.
Right, it was thick denim. Not like you get now. Everything now is so thin and shitty. But this was an old pair of jeans, and it tore right through them like it was nothing.
I'm sorry about that.
It was traumatizing. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this has had a lasting impact.
Clearly, this was an issue for you.
It continues to be an issue.
You're fine.
Every time I see that vehicle, I have to relive that attack.
I can't believe she led it up to you, though. That's my favorite.
She did, and then she was surprised when it attacked me. She was like, "Oh, he bit you?" I'm like, "Yeah, he bit me. I'm about to bury this fucking hammer in the thing."
Do you like shake a little bit when you hear the dog bark? Because I can hear it like bark through the window.
You're not a big dog guy, though.
I am a big dog guy. I love dogs. I just
no,
don't
no,
like
no.
dogs that are rabid and insane.
You're not not a lover of large dogs.
Oh, a big dog.
Yeah,
guy.
you want a little dog.
I like smaller dogs that don't present like a threat.
Smaller dogs scare me more, I'd say.
Yeah, little
Yeah, but they can't
yipers.
really do any damage.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't tell what's behind their eyes. Do you actually like me or do you want to bite my nose?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like a small dog you can leave them in the house and they can't really do any damage. A big dog can destroy the whole fucking place.
I'm gonna get back on subject because you've gone down a rabbit hole that is gonna.
Oh, my apologies.
You've got some darkness about you right now.
You need to see a
Sorry, I'm sorry I
therapist.
cratered this whole show.
Oh man,
I can roll out if you want.
Cave of Wonders over
I
here.
need some therapy after you
Yeah.
attack.
I do.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel awful. It continues to. I have bad dreams about it.
Jessica, have you ever met probably, I'm going to speak for both of us, our favorite truck driver, Mr. Terry McAtee?
I have at the Christmas party.
Yeah. Well, we need to get Terry on as a guest. That would be
Picked
awesome.
somebody up and had them on his shoulders, like
Julia.
Was it Julia?
Cannot remember who he picked up, but I feel like it was Danny. It was someone he shouldn't have picked up. You know what
He said, "Hey Jeff, can I dance with Miss Julia one time?" And I said, "Absolutely." And then he like threw her into a pool table like she was like a hockey player. He like checked her into the pool table. So, but we should reach out and get Terry on the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That dude is the absolute best. So
He came to my wedding too.
he did show up at your wedding.
Yeah.
Did Brooks?
No.
I wasn't invited.
I sent you the invite. You tore it up.
Well, never received an invite.
Well, maybe you changed your address or something.
We were no, didn't change my address either. We
You
were
said
going
you
to
were
come
gonna
down
crash
there
it.
and try. Yeah, but I can't remember what.
If you would have tried to crash it, I don't think it could have, because we had a fire in the bush.
They started the venue on fire.
I sprayed champagne all over the nice venue.
They were not happy about that.
No, I did. We broke a light that came
This is
down.
why you shouldn't get married. Because
it was
you
sick.
break stuff in front of them.
It was sick though.
We had a good time. I'm sorry you weren't there, Brooks.
Yeah, thanks, Brooks.
Maybe next one you can be at.
Yeah, my second one, you're gonna be there.
Well, we kind of touched on this, and I didn't read the last question that was scripted by Noah here about how they can get in touch with you. But definitely reach out to www.push. Resource recovery is one way, or you can just Google search push transportation. That will get you to Jessica. Is there anything we didn't touch on that you'd like to speak about today, Jessica, regarding the transportation company?
Yeah, I am super awesome. I'm super awesome to work with.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, just that like I have hauled everything from, like I said, 300 pounds to a 17-foot wide machine with police escort. So really my array it varies small to big. I can kind of handle it all. So I'd love to chat. And even if, you don't have any shipping needs, give me a call and we can laugh a little bit.
Yeah, we should get that confidence about us. I'm just going to walk around saying I'm fucking awesome from now on. I'm the shit, man. Yeah.
You have that about you already, don't?
When you got it, you got it. I don't know what you need to do. So,
Jess,
all right.
thanks a bunch for being on.
Thank you, Jessica. For those of you that haven't met Jess, she's a very bubbly personality. So I would encourage all of you, like she said, to call her just to chat, if nothing else. So you realize what's going to happen now. You're going to get flooded with I'm just calling to say hi.
Yeah. And if you need a scrap tub, I'm the one that's going to answer the phone on that end of the line too. So give us a call.
Double whammy. So, all right. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in today. We've got, we're going to try to get on a regular schedule. We were a little lost behind the ISRI show there in St. Louis, but we'll
catch back up.
We're going to catch back up. Got some good guests lined up and looking
we got
forward
a
to
slate
that.
of
So.
good guests coming up. And again, for the Las Vegas
You're going to be there early.
We're going to be there early, setting up.
Not we.
You.
I'm going to be there early, setting up and staying sober.
No, you're not.
I am.
Hey,
Just Bible study for me.
let's go play some baccarat before Jeff gets there.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you?
You guys drop by, visit us. If you want to be on the show, hit us up on our socials. You can find the links down below.
Now it's weird. Tia's got failure going on left and right.
Hit us up on our socials. You can find the links down below. We'd love to have you on. Market summary, Jeff. Is there anything that we should be on the lookout for?
Nah,
coming
just
in here in
fair
the spring?
sucks and non-Ferris is all right. So
Ferris blows, but we know that non-Ferris is going up, spiking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Thank you again to Jess.
yeah, I want to thank Jessica and also thank our sponsor of Davis Index, the screen down here that is flashing some headlines at you. So, or should I say the ticker. So thank you to those guys, and we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.